welcome back to the Launch Point Leader Podcast. My name is Lori.
And this is Bo.
And we are so excited to be back after a little bit of a break. It's been a minute since we've been able to sit down together.
Got to have a vacation every once in a while.
Every once in a while, you need a little break, time to rest and reset. And we're so excited because we are here to really relaunch our podcast. We have been so lucky to get to have so many great conversations from stories that you, our listeners, have written into us over the past year. But as we talked about how we want to start 2026, we really understood that we want to spend more time on these topics. From what we hear from you guys listening in, to our clients we work with every single day, we really just saw a need to go deeper into some of these foundational topics. So we're so excited to start this year with you fresh and really start at the launch point. And I'll kind of let you cue into how we're going to be structuring our year, maybe some of the reason behind what we're doing.
Yeah, well, first off, one of the reasons for the relaunch is we needed a fireplace.
Absolutely. That was the biggest comment we received on every video.
Let's be honest, this right here, I love a good fire.
You do.
I really do.
Your whole episode, you're going to be kind of
if I get closer and closer, if you look at my phone and my photo reel, I have so many pictures of fires that I've built.
So interesting.
I know, right? I'm not like that, but my family does refer to me as Fire King sometimes. So just want to, that's why we relaunched. Wow. Yeah, is the fire. Other than that, like you said, we just wanted to kind of give a fresh look at what we do and a fresh perspective. I think we've learned a lot over the first year of doing this. And we've learned, like you said, that we want to go a little bit deeper. I think we want to remember and tell our listeners why we started this in the first place is we just wanted to be a voice and one point of reference as folks were going through their leadership journey. And I think it's so great to get outside input into what you're dealing with every single day. Because you might hear an idea, you might hear one thought, you might be challenged or encouraged a little bit, and you might not get that in your everyday leadership journey. So we wanted to do this podcast and kind of relaunch it and go a little bit deeper because we wanted to make sure we were being a good steward of you all, our listeners, and making sure that we were covering the things that needed to be covered at the level in which they needed to be. I think sometimes, small business owners and people that are leading smaller teams might get left out in the fray. You've got these huge executive coaches and these big events that you can go to, but oftentimes, in my opinion, it's those people in the middle that are making everything happen for everybody else in the organization. And so that's really what we're focused on, is helping you guys with your everyday issues and trying to provide some insight and solutions to you all. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how you said that, because that is where we've really seen the most response from people and had the opportunity to speak to a lot of those different levels of leadership. We're not talking exclusively to just the CEOs of all these great companies.
We've been there, done that, right? I mean, that's how we both started. We started at the bottom of the organization in which we grew up in, and we worked our way through every single level. We were led by others. We've led many people, and we've dealt with it at every level of the organization. So I think that's, I think we have a unique perspective because we didn't just come in at this management level like a lot of people do.
Sure.
We came in at the bottom. And when I say the bottom, I mean the bottom. So I think that's kind of what makes us a little bit unique too.
Yeah, that's great. And so as we talked about how we want to really structure the podcast and go into this new year, we decided to think things a little bit bigger, dig deeper into topics. We're still going to have those letters that people write in, because I think it's so cool to get to hear all the different perspectives. And I even learn things from people writing in and sharing what they've learned. But in addition to that, there's so many times where we have a topic and we're like, oh, I want to go a little bit deeper than what we can in just listening to somebody's letter and giving some advice on that specific topic, and just getting more people's perspectives in here. We've got some really great things. We're going to be doing interviews with guests a lot more often, which is going to be really exciting. So having that thing. And then in addition to that, we want to provide resources in addition to what we're talking about. So every single month with whatever topic, we're going to have some free resources on our website, as well as different courses and things people can buy into as well, which I think is going to be so beneficial to just really help people we always talk about, we want to help people take leadership theory and turn that into action in their environment and in their businesses. And so this is going to be really the perfect format to host all of that and give that starting out.
Yeah. So we take ideas and we turn them into exact steps on how to bring those ideas to life.
Yeah,
so I think
because-
the way this set up is going to be fantastic. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you Google leadership and so much comes up. Any leadership topic, right? You talk about vision and mission, and there's so many resources out there.
Yeah.
Amazing resources, things we've used ourselves and will continue to use, but helping companies and individuals turn those into their aha moments has always been so important. And so I want to talk about and hear your perspective on where we're starting the year. You know, January is such a refresh, a hard reset for lots of people, whether you're in business, in personal life, with your family, everything. So I want to talk about what a launch point means, because that's our January theme. Like, what does that mean? Obviously, our name is Launch Point Leader, but what does that mean for an individual? What does it mean for a company?
It's really rare that you get the opportunity to start fresh. And I'm not mistaking to say, I know we're all carrying things with us from last year into the new year, but the calendar changes once every 365 days. I think it's 365, right? There's some question on that. It could be like
You've got a leap year thrown in there, but yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But you get this clean, fresh start once a year.
Yeah.
And when we think about being the launching point, I think that is such a great opportunity for you as a leader to go, okay, all the stuff that's been bothering me, all the stuff I might have messed up on, all the stuff I've been dealing with, it doesn't just go away. But how do I take this calendar? Because for some reason, we all as humans think it's built into us innately. When the calendar turns on a new year, it's like we take this breath and it's like, okay, I'm going to do this. So this is such a unique opportunity to launch into 2026 and the new year. And it doesn't just happen naturally. So you can't just expect with the calendar turn that things are just going to change. So the idea with these launch points is, how do we take some of the core principles and the foundational principles of leadership and talk about them this month to help our listeners and ourselves really launch, not just go or limp into the new year, but how do we accelerate and get further faster with what we're doing in leadership that maybe we got bogged down with last year? How do we launch into the new year with some practical exercises, some practical themes, and some things that we can do to really be a better leader in the new year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great. And I think hopefully the question on everybody's mind right now is, well, how can I still participate? You know, it's always been for us, visit our website and write in. You can write in letters, and that's still open. Nothing on that has changed. We want to still hear your stories. Even if it doesn't necessarily make an episode, we always respond to those and want to make contact and have those conversations with people. But we really also want to make sure that there are resources for you available. So like I said earlier, Launch Point Leader, our website, or Launch Point Leader on all social media opportunities, everything will link back to those resources for you to download that we'll mention as we go through the different topics, to just other people, other books and things that we recommend, and just all of those things as well. We want to make sure people can connect with us on all of those areas. And so I think as we go into, you know, this is beginning of January, everybody's feeling hopefully that sense of freshness and renewal that you're talking about. What do you think is important for a leader? What do you make sure you do at the end of each year, start of a new year, that you want to send people out and kind of be thinking about as we get ready to dig deeper this month into launching yourself?
Well, first off, you've done great work with all of this content and the resources and everything. So listeners, make sure you go check that out, because Lori has done some amazing work on this. It'll really help set you up for an awesome new year. So, well, kudos to you on that. I do think, as you look at, this is my favorite time of year.
Yeah.
Like, and it's the most stressful time of year, I think. Like, December is busy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just busy. You got all these demands, but I love the opportunity to go, I can change whatever I want to in the new year. So what I typically do, I go back through and I look at all of my notes from all of my meetings, all of the events I've been to, all of my journal entries. I go back and read all of those things in the month of December. And I start to pick up on themes for my last year. And I start to pick up on things that I've been frustrated with, or dreams that I have that might need to come to fruition in the next year. And so I start just listing those things out and start thinking about what if. Because like this is such a unique season. It's like, what if we could say this time next year?
Yeah.
What if this could be true this time next year? And what if I could avoid these things by this time next year? And so I go through and really look at all the notes that I've taken and try to create a plan for, hey, this is what I want to see happen. I think this is a great time of year to dream big. Don't be unrealistic, but why not dream big? I mean, what's the harm in that? Dream big and then put some parameters and some resources and some systems around it and then go get it. The last thing I'll say, though, about what I do this time of year is I'm challenged on discipline. I find usually when I read back through notes, my ideas were good, usually, most of them, sometimes terrible, occasionally. My ideas were usually good. The intent behind them was usually good. The outcomes, had they come true, are usually really good. What typically lacks for me is the continued discipline and grit to get them done throughout the course of the year. We might launch and start strong, but we want to continue that launch all the way to the goal. So that's kind of what I think about going into a new year.
That's great. I think those are super helpful topics just to set people's mindset right, because it does start with that sense of mindset, right? It can also be really easy to come off a busy December, finishing year strong with your team and want to take a step back and take a breath, which could be necessary for a bit. But I think it is really unique to take that time and refocus. And like you said, just dream big. Even if all your ideas, sometimes you look back and think that was never going to work. Put it down, get the idea out there and work on that with your team. I think that's awesome. And those are the type of things we want to work with people on this year. And so as we talk about launching ourselves this month, I think that's such a great intro into some of the things we're going to be digging into. We've got some good letters that people have already written into us that we've selected to restart the year with that you'll be bringing. And then we're ending the month with a great interview from Chris Truelove down in Special Kids in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, who is going to just share a lot about his journey and his launch point. And so we're so excited for the month we have ahead. As always, visit our website, launchpointleader.com. We want to hear from you. All of our social media is Launchpoint Leader is where you can find us. And as we head off into today, getting ready for the rest of this month, any last thoughts you want to share?
Last thoughts are we're excited for this new year with all of you, excited for it with you as well.
Absolutely.
There are going to be some new things. If you've highlighted, subscribe, like follow, do all the things that everybody asks you to do, but we promise we're actually going to give you some quality content that you're not going to want to miss. And especially some of the free stuff is going to be really impactful. And if you're not following and subscribe, you're going to miss out on it. And we don't want that for you. So we want to launch you well into the next year. So make sure you do that and follow along. And we're here for the journey, here for the ride.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week. And then we're so excited to dig into this more with you. Have a great week.